Hi, I'm LaxRax from Board Game Co.
Hi, I'm Mina.
And this is going to be the Kickstarters we backed in September. I always pause and hesitate because I'm always
in October.
I'm always in the next month when I do the last month. So I always want to say this month, but we're going to say September instead. So we have 18 Kickstarters that we've backed this month, or 18 Kickstarters that I've backed so far. That's not true. That's not true. That's a lie. That would be way too many. There are 18 Kickstarters that I was interested in backing. That are on this list. In general, this video is always going to be the Kickstarters in the past month. The Kickstarters more specifically that ended in September, so anything that started in September, drifted into October, not really relevant. If it ended in September, these are the ones I wanted to back. These are the ones I was most interested in, paying attention to, wrestling with myself, trying to decide if I had enough self-control, if I have too many games, if I have games like it, if it wasn't a good price, if I get it in retail. All those considerations resulted in 18 games that I wanted to back, and apparently, because I accidentally let Rena see the other screen, 7 that I did. There are 7.
I only know the number. I don't know. Actually, I think I usually know how many you backed, and I never know which ones they are.
So 7 that I did. Now we're going to go through this. We're going to be going through all the various games, and then Rena's going to be picking which ones she thinks I did and did not back. And we're going to be starting off with Agemonia.
You backed this one.
That was very quick. Do you know anything about this game?
I don't.
Why are you saying I backed it?
Because I heard you talk about it a lot.
Oh, well then, aren't you surprised? I backed it. Agemonia. Agemonia is going to be a game that I absolutely did back. I really enjoyed this one. This is one I had a chance to play through the various tutorials. They basically, the prototype that I sent out had like 3 tutorial missions. I assume they'll be in the final copy. I don't see a reason why not. They're great entry points to the game. The first one introducing you to the basic mechanics of movement. The second introducing you to a little bit of combat. And the third being the real intricate one where you actually had decisions to make. They all had decisions, but the third one had a lot of decisions. As you navigate around this world, it has luscious, beautiful art across the boards. It has a bunch of miniatures, non-miniatures, the whole, like, there are standees and minis, depending on the enemies and whatnot. But a lot of decisions as you wander from various point to point, making decisions along the way. How you're going to interact with the world, how you're going to, what spots you're going to investigate, whether you're going to fight various creatures or try to run away from them. A lot going on in this game. I really enjoyed this one. It's a lot of fun. As you said, I talked about it a lot. And I did back Agemonia. This is going to be coming to you from, I always say this name incorrectly. It's always coming to, I like you corrected. I said
correctly.
I always say this, I say it correctly, and she's like, no, there's no words you always say correctly. It's just incorrectly. Anything you say is always incorrectly. Yeah, this is going to be from Lottapilit.fi. Well, guess that's the website, but Lottapilit. I believe they did Eclipse. Yeah, here we go, from the publisher of Eclipse. A fully cooperative board game with challenging moral choices set in an epic campaign for 1 to 4 players. Now, we didn't really get into the moral choices aspect in the tutorial that we had, but I am intrigued and curious to see where this one goes. This is going to be Agemonia. Next up, we have Black Rose Wars Rebirth. Black Rose Wars Rebirth from Ludus Magnus Studios. This is going to be the sequel to Black Rose Wars, a game that I do own.
I know.
Yes. Oh, you know. Oh. Interesting. Do you know? Do you? This is going to be a skirmish mage game, a game where you're going to be playing as 4 different mages, or I guess it depends on the player count, but number of mages equal to the player count as you run around the board, casting evocations, these various creatures that can follow you around, help you, or sometimes even this game hurt you. Meanwhile, just casting tons of different spells at all of these different things. Whoa, that trampler is a little bit intense over there, but either way, lots of stuff going on in this game, tons of miniatures, more. They already had, the original Black Rose Wars had tons of miniatures, tons of content. This is giving you tons more with streamlined rules to a degree and just more stuff in case you wanted it. You still haven't decided.
I think you backed this one.
I did not back this one. Yes. This is going to be major self-control meat on this one. So Black Rose Wars was a tough one. This was a one that basically Rebirth didn't change enough about the base game. And this is one of the few times where I had enough self-control because the amount of content I already have for this game is completely ridiculous. There's no way I'm ever getting through it. And I could dive in and get more of it, but it's already a game that's overwhelming in how much it has. And unlike other games that are overwhelming that I did get too much stuff, like Marvel United, I actually think I'm able to go through a decent amount of it. I'm not even touching the surface of how much content there's in Black Rose Wars. I couldn't justify jumping in on Rebirth, despite the fact that, it wasn't really a step forward for me. It was a little bit of a step forward. Some aspects I liked better, some aspects were a little bit back, but it was very, very similar. I really felt that the two could be either or as far as which one you get, and I already have all the original stuff. That's Black Rose Wars Rebirth. Then we have Dungeons of Infinity from Sky Kingdom Games. Dungeons of Infinity Kingdom Cost. This is a reprint and expansion of the original Dungeons of Infinity, giving you more game trays, upgrade art. You're just saying no. You don't need to know anything else. Sky Kingdom Games.
Mm-mm.
They're the company that came down to your house for like a whole Sunday?
Okay.
You still no?
Yeah.
Wow. Why are you so sure? I mean, you're right, but why are you so sure?
I don't think I heard you talk about this game at all.
So if that's the criteria, it's going to be a very interesting video. If I talked about it at all or not. So yeah, Sky King of the Games, Dungeon Infinity. This is one that I did play. This video over with
Looks
Cracklow.
cool.
That's what it is. It looks cool. Dungeon Infinity is a game that does look cool. At the same time, I played the game once. I didn't really have a chance to dive into it further. It's just tons of games, too many games to play. I didn't have a chance to go more than the basic game we played. I'm intrigued by the campaign mode of the game. Mm-hmm. The campaign mode might be enough to actually make this a game that I want, but I didn't play the campaign mode. And the base game was fine. I enjoyed it, but I don't know if it was enough for me to say, this is why I want this dungeon crawler. And the taste of the abilities and everything else they had. The characters had tons of abilities and ways to develop and ways to grow, but they're almost built out to suit or to cater to campaign mode. The basic game, unless you're playing a 3-hour-long game, the basic single-shot scenario, you're not really going to dive fully into how these characters develop, which takes away a big part of the game. So it's one that I want to dive more into. It's one that I want to see how the campaign plays out, but then you're fighting against all these other campaign games, including Ice of Iron Guard from Sky Kingdom Games that I do want to continue diving into. So ultimately, this is one that just didn't stand out enough for me in the wide genre of dungeon crawlers that are there. It's one that I think could be a lot better for me at a higher degree of campaign mode or whatnot. But for the gameplay I played, I enjoyed it, but not enough to double up on this one. That's going to be Dungeons of Infinity. Next up, we have Eos Island of Angels. Eos Island of Angels from King Raccoon and Grey Fox Games. I think King Raccoon, in association or publication with Grey Fox Games, Eos Island of Angels is a game where you're going to be basically just leveling up your stuff so you can be more powerful, so you can level up your stuff. Are you trying to remember if I talked about it?
No, I'm trying to stare into your eyes to see if there's
Stare
any
deeply
answers.
into my eyes, sweetie. Telling me, did I back this game?
Yes.
Yeah, jeez! Did I talk about this one?
I don't remember.
Okay, this is... So what was it based on? Nothing. Just guesswork. Okay, so...
Sounded like Ecos.
So here's the deal. Here's what we know so far. We just finished watching Squid Game. I'm not going to make any spoilers here.
No. You watched Squid Game.
I just finished watching Squid Game,
it.
so she'll have no idea what I was talking about. I totally in my head, I thought you watched it. I just finished Squid Game, so no spoilers here, but if you got up to the thing where you basically have to make subsequent guesses, yes or no, again and again and again, well, this is basically what this is, but so far... She's 444 so far.
No, I'm not. I
yes.
got one wrong.
Agemonia, Black. Oh, you said I did Black Rose Wars. Oh, you're right. Oh, yeah. If this was Squid Game, you wouldn't be here anymore. Yes. Anyways, Eos Island of Angels is going to be from, like I said already, King Raccoon and Grey Fox Games, and it's a game that has a lot of just a tableau building, of building up your characters while you take different actions, while you put down different tokens to activate your crew, and then pull them back and activate your ship, and level up your ship, and level up your crew, all in a goal to eventually get points, but I don't really care about points, I just want to have fun while playing, and Eos Island of Angels very much gave me the definition of fun while playing, as you just choose which one of multiple pathways you want to go down as you upgrade, well, everything in this game. Really enjoyed this one, happy to dive back into it, looking forward to the final deluxified game. It's interesting, prototypes are always interesting because you get some prototypes that are like really, really solid that basically feel like a complete game. I'm looking at you, Ivy Games, Mythic Mischief. And then you have other games that basically look like they're very much a prototype. And when that happens, I'm even more excited to get the final copy. And Eos very much was a prototype in the terms of the components that I got. Very much looking to a final copy of this one. Then, moving on, we have Flamecraft. Flamecraft by Cardboard Alchemy. This is a game of cardboard dragons. $2 million raised, 30,000 backers. Little adorable dragons in this game. Yes.
It's cute little dragons.
Yeah, cute little dragons. So Flamecraft is an interesting one. This is not one that I would have backed for myself alone. This is one I backed because I think Ricky would enjoy it. I think you'd enjoy it. It is a lighter game, at least the experience. I don't know if they added anything else that I missed. It has dragons. It's a lighter game. It's a fun game. I may still have a prototype. No, I'm trying to remember where I keep my prototypes and whether I still have this one. Either way, this is one that it's all about these various dragon shops with these various dragon puns on the shops as you place your dragons down to activate the shops and or to enchant the shops as you go through all that. I really enjoyed it. Lots of fun dragons, lots of fun miniatures. Also, let's scroll down because I want to show you this. I will not make you sick. Just look off the side. Look off the side while I rapidly scroll down through the page. Here we go. Ready?
Oh, it's plushies.
We got dragon plushies. You can get
Very
dragon
cute.
plushies. Little plushie dragons for your game. And they have a meat dragon plushie. And then we had dragon coasters and bookmarks.
The bookmarks.
It's actually interesting because you were excited about the bookmarks. I wouldn't have been excited about the bookmarks.
No, I read a lot, and I would like bookmarks.
Yeah. Either way, this is one that I did back, but primarily because I already. Oh, there we go. Hey, I didn't realize I put my code on it. Some of the most delightful art I've seen in a game. Creme brulee dragon sounds delicious. Is that a problem? I don't remember saying that, but that sounds like something I'd go with. No, anyways, yeah, I'm always trying to be clever when I do testimonials. I try to be. Sometimes I succeed. Other times they're boring, and that is what it is. That's going to be Flamecraft. Moving on, we have 11 from Portal Games. 11, the Football Manager board game from Portal Games.
No.
Wow. You're like so... First of all, you're right. Second of all, wow, that was quick. Why in the world are you that sure?
It's football.
Okay, so first of all, I hear you. She's just judging me. She's like, sports? No. But inherently, if it's on this list, it means I was interested in it.
Yeah,
right?
If it's the bottom of the totem pole.
I mean, I'd love to argue with you, but you're right. So, football, 11, the Football Manager...
It's running a club, so that I could see why it would intrigue you.
There we go.
But it's football.
So it's the economic aspect of football. It's the economic aspect of managing a team. I mean, it's like... Listen, if you had given me another minute, I'd have second-guessed myself, but I didn't give myself another minute, so I'm right. Yeah, football is 11, not football. 11 is a game that did very much intrigue me, especially because it is a subsequent follow-up to a game called, I believe, The Club from the designer, which was highly rated, well-liked, and highly sought after. And 11 just it was intriguing. The idea of another game from Portal Games.
Cute.
What, the little football stadium?
The Dice Trade.
The Dice Trade football stadium? Yeah,
That's
I know,
cute.
right? But yeah, the idea of a game from them that would give me that feeling of economic management, the management of a team, not really the playing football. I mean, granted, I do have Trick Shot in my collection, which I do like, which is a sports game. But either way, this did appeal to me. It was just very expensive to dive into it. The amount of content there was, I like going all in. There's lots of expansions, lots of things. I would have felt like I was getting part of the game if I got the base game, and the base game itself was expensive, and then the all-in would have been way more expensive. It's not so much that it's the bottom of the totem pole, but it was the combination of a lower degree of interest plus a high price point.
It's like, is it similar to Food Chain Magnet?
I don't think so. Okay. Based on what I know about the games, I don't think there's really a lot of similarity. But yeah, either way, I'm intrigued by it. Happy to try it out at some point, but I passed on it for right now.
Got it.
Next up, we have Green Hell, the board game.
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, good. There we go. This is the kind of thing I'm used to. Green's like, that's okay, we're at the halfway point. It's over. I'm just going to start guessing. It's all been a good run. I'll see you later. It's late at night. I'm going to sleep. Just pretend to guess for me. Green Hell, the board game, is a survival game for 1 to 4 players, 35 hours campaign, blah, 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 all 5 single missions, all that stuff, as you go through this survival-themed game. As you try to survive in the wilds, there is a bit of a polyomino puzzle going on. Let's see if we can find it for you. Let's see if we can find it for you without making you just, lose your mind over there. Search and analyze. Here we go. There's a little bit of a polyomino puzzle as you try to fit various degrees into your...
Very small.
Yeah, very small. I didn't say it's a big polyomino puzzle. I said it's a small polyomino puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's going to be Green Hell. Survival game, running around the wilderness, cooperative experience as you try to craft and build and survive and put things in your backpack and polyomino it up.
I say no?
She's right. She is right. This one is a no. This is one where it was intriguing. I didn't get enough of a feel for how the game actually plays to be willing to pay the price to get it. It's one that I'm very curious how the ratings come out in this one. It wouldn't be the first time that I passed on a game because I didn't get pulled in. Mind MGMT is going to be a classic example where Mind MGMT, which is somewhere on a shelf near me, is going to be a game that the Kickstarter, I wasn't pulled in enough by the Kickstarter when it launched, and then after it came out and people started talking about it, I was really intrigued, and so I picked up a copy. But for Green Hell, I'm currently in the stage where I don't know whether it's for me or not, and wasn't pulled in enough by the Kickstarter page to make that jump, to make that investment, so I passed on Green Hell. Next up, we have Lands of Galzyr by Snowdill Design. Lands of Galzyr.
Okay.
Story-driven adventure, open world game, save mechanisms, $207,000 euros, 2,400 backers. This one is, where's Quacklope's quote? He's got something. You will love this game, 5 out of 5. Jesse Anderson, Quacklope. Does it have a solo mode? It does have a solo mode, I think. I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's a story. 1 to 4 players, it has a solo mode.
I'm going to say yes.
Yes, my lack of confidence in the solo mode should have thrown you. No, I did not back this game.
You didn't?
But I am interested in the game. Yeah, it's one of those things where I think it'll be cheaper.
You like story-driven games.
So I used to not. I kind of do. It depends on how it's done. Everything's still a big giant depends when it comes to story-driven games. I am intrigued by this game, very much so. For me, this is a question of retail versus Kickstarter. I think that the retail price point on this one's going to be a lot cheaper in terms of the Kickstarter price point, like €70 for the game. 70 euros is a lot for a base game. There's a lot of content, to be fair. A lot of content. I still feel the retail game. It has a soundtrack, yeah.
So pretty for you.
We barely ever pay for soundtracks.
I know. I'm just
Maybe.
It has a soundtrack.
It does have a soundtrack. And dice trays and extra dice sets. It looks very intriguing. This is going to be from the same creator of You've played it. Dale of Merchants. Dale of Merchants.
Oh, I like Dale of Merchants.
Yes, Snow the Design, Dale of Merchants. So overall, a game that very much did intrigue me, but one that the price point was enough of a reason for me to say, I'll hold off and hopefully I will get this one later at retail.
Cool.
Next up, we have LaxRax, the board game shelf insert. This is one that I actually wasn't sure if I was going to include on this list. I forgot that I did. Either way, LaxRax, the board game shelf insert, not really a board game, which is a surprise for you. These are going to be these little like things that you put in. Let's see if we can find you a little GIF going on. Yeah, you're going to be, no, those are going to be GIFs about how board game shelves are so difficult and all that. These are going to go, where's a picture of the actual LaxRax system?
It's right there.
Yeah, you see over here. So over here, you get to basically put these into Calyx shelving. So you have like customized shelves within the Calyx shelving.
I think you did back these because I feel like you and I just had a conversation about them.
We had a conversation about the existence of things like this, and I did not back these.
You didn't? Why not?
Why not? Because A, they're expensive. B, the problem that they're creating, and expensive is relative, but in terms of the pricing of your Calyx shelving, it's going to make your Calyx shelving much more expensive. And the pricing, the pricing was one factor. But also the fact that I don't want to have to constantly readjust my shelving spacing, whatever it is, every time I change how my games are organized. And my games have changed a lot.
Much are they?
It was depends on what you get. It's like $29 for 48 multifunctional grips, 48. I think that's really 12 shelves. I think it's all times 4. I could be mistaken. 48 rods, yeah. So I think it's like 4 rods to a shelf. So I think it's really like $29 for 12 shelves, which basically means $30 for like I don't know 4 cube. No. 12 shelves, if you have 4 per shelf and you have 3 per thing, that's $29 per one Calyx cubby.
It's not crazy.
I mean, an entire Calyx cubby, the ones we have from Better Home & Gardens are going to be our IKEA, our knockoff, basically. Better Home & Gardens brand from Walmart. 5x5 is roughly around $150. A 5x5 would be 25 cubes, 25 times 30 would be $750 extra on top of the initial $150. And I don't even know if I like them.
I hear.
Yeah, if you gave them to me, I'd try them out. I definitely wasn't willing to pay for them, especially given the way I store my games.
I hear.
You're kind of like, but they might do the job. I don't know.
No, just I didn't.
Either way, that's going to be... And the Quacks of Quedlinburg. Quacks of Quedlinburg. But moving on to the next one is going to be Mythic Mischief.
Oh, I'm just not sure.
Well, you have to guess.
Sure.
You don't know? Nothing? Not sure in the slightest?
I guess yes.
Yes. Well, you're right. You're right. For those who didn't pick up, she's very, very aware that I backed this game. If you remember, her criteria is if I talk about it. And I talk about Mythic Mischief a lot. In fact, Mischief, maybe. Mythic Mischief is going to be, I'm pretty sure, I think it has the distinction of being I'm pretty sure I can say this confidently. I think Mythic Mischief has a distinction of being the prototype that I have played the most since covering it. It's a game I consistently pull out. Yeah. There's a bunch of prototypes I've played since covering them. Sometimes I have to send the prototype on so I can't play it, which makes it an unfair comparison. Other times I have the prototype and I'd rather wait for the final copy. A third time, I just don't necessarily like the game enough to dive back into it. Depends on the game.
Do anything.
Yeah, I have to go through my various prototypes that I have played, but Mythic Mischief is likely the one that I have played the most since covering this game. I consistently pull it out, I consistently play it, I consistently teach new people. Yes, the miniatures of my copy are still broken. No, that's not the same material that you'll get in your final copy. I get questions like that all the time, and apparently so does Ivy Games. They get questions like, why? What's going on? No, the miniatures we get are going to be 3D printed ones that fragile, break easily, all that. Your final copy ones, not nearly as fragile, although if you do snap the heads off intentionally, you will have the Headless faction. That's what I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for the Headless faction. Sadly, Mythic Mischief Ivy Games did not pick up the Headless faction as their expansion factions that they're going to go with, which has me incredibly disappointed. I probably shouldn't be talking about their game still because I'm a little bitter about this. But either way, I like Mythic Mischief quite a... What's going on?
Just laughing at you.
Either way, I like Mythic Mischief quite a bit. This is going to be an abstract game. This is an abstract game that is one of the better abstract games I have in my collection. I actively have. Still playing this one. Still looking forward to continuously playing this one. It is a really, really good game. Absolutely gave this one a 5 out of 5. It's not even remotely a question for me. That's how I feel. I really...
Sorry.
Thank you.
So cute.
Look at Quackalo. Look at Jesse. He's also like a little bit.
Yours is much cuter.
Yeah. Anyways, that's going to be Mythic Mischief. Moving on to one that's not necessarily as easy.
Oh, SolForge.
SolForge Fusion, a hybrid deck building game.
I don't know.
This is what I'm talking about.
At least I recognize it enough.
Yeah. That means I must have been talking about it, right? Probably a lot. Maybe.
I don't remember.
A lot.
I don't remember.
Maybe.
Yes.
No. SolForge. SolForge is a game that I am interested in, or was interested, am interested. It depends which way you go. I'm still interested in it.
I thought it said Frogborn.
Become a Frogborn in SolForge. Yeah, becoming a Frogborn is not what they should advertise this as. But SolForge is one where I really am intrigued by the premise of it. I particularly like the idea that you have these... So it's going to be programmatically constructed decks that you're going to buy. A collectible game that's similar to... what's the other game? Something other Forge. Keyforge, similar to Keyforge. But one of the premises I liked is the fact that you shuffle together 2 different factions, and then you also upgrade your heroes as you rotate through the deck. So your cards upgrade as you use them, which adds a fun little puzzle to the game that I, not going to say a puzzle, but I like upgrading stuff in games. So the idea of upgrading my cards as I go through it is intriguing. At the end of the day, it's still a collectible game, and that does make it very much something that I don't want to really get involved in. I'm intrigued by it, happy to play it if I have an opportunity, but I did decide not to back it because the idea of like chasing pre-constructed collectible decks is not really my thing. I have enough of a problem with LCGs. I don't need to add anything collectible to the mix. Next up, we have Solosphere. Harness the power of the stars.
Don't know.
Oh, I'm so disappointed in you. So disappointed in you.
Do you talk about this one a lot?
Maybe. I'm very disappointed in you.
I don't remember this one at all. Did I play this game?
Yeah.
Was it late at night?
It probably was late at night.
You did not back this one.
I did not back this one. Do you remember this one yet?
I do.
Okay,
SolForge. That's why I said
SolForge.
did not back it.
Well, so, I mean, I wouldn't include it if it weren't a game I was interested in, but SolForge was a tough one for me. It's one that parts of the game I really, really liked. It was fairly meaty in what it was doing. It's a Euro game, which can be rolling dice assigned to various locations and trying to basically get as many points as possible before the end of 6 rounds. You're building up the something sphere, the Dyson sphere around the sun to collect energy, all that stuff. It's a theme pasted on to a Euro game, a very heavy Euro game that gives you a lot of interaction. I really appreciated the various elements of the different ways to score points, the puzzle. You see? Yeah.
I do remember.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's coming back to me now.
It's all coming back to me now. But overall, despite the fact that I really thought that it gave you a lot of pathways to victories, gave you a lot of fun things, it was heavy, it was crunchy, it was meaty, all that good stuff. But at the same time, what are you doing? What are you laughing
Your
at?
descriptors.
What are you talking about?
You say luscious, crunchy, meaty.
Heavy, crunchy, and meaty. There's a term. So there's a term, sweetie. Anyways, at the end of the day, in addition to the heavy, crunchy, and meaty, it also had rolling dice that could affect what you can do. So it felt a little bit out of place. You could argue the same thing about Castle of Burgundy to an extent, but I don't know what it is. I appreciate Castle of Burgundy more. In fact, Castle of Burgundy is a game that I was thinking of when thinking of the closest comparison of how I felt about this game, but I prefer Castles of Burgundy. In fact, I would say it's not even close, which isn't really a strike against Solosphere, because Castle of Burgundy is one of our favorite games. But at the end of the day, while I was intrigued by this one, while I was interested, and I played it, so intrigued is the wrong word, I was interested in this one. At the end of the day, Castle of Burgundy is always the game I'm going to want to play more, and it felt similar to that in that range. Moving on, we have Super Truffle Pigs. You're like, what are you doing? What do you do when I go out? What do you do? What do you do? What do you look at?
I feel like you play this with Ricky.
I did not play this with Ricky, but that's not your guess, so you're fine. I didn't play this one, for context, in case you're wondering.
It sounds so familiar.
Super Truffle Pigs is a game in which you are basically trying to manipulate the pigs to get the truffles, while you manipulate the wolves to capture your opponent's pigs.
Make this like Jeopardy where I can call a friend.
You can call a friend. Who are you going to call?
Jesse.
Ghostbusters! Jesse doesn't know if I back this. Maybe he does. I don't actually know.
You did not.
I did not back this one. I want to back this one. The reason I did not back this one is going to be because Mythic Mischief. This is a game that when you actually dive into what it's doing, it feels very similar to Mythic Mischief. You have your pigs that are running on the board collecting... They're getting truffles, which are the tomes. Remember Mythic Mischief? You played it, right? You played Mythic Mischief. So the truffles are the tomes. The pigs are going to be your characters. The wolf is going to be the equivalent to the tome keeper that you're navigating around to chase the various pigs down.
Cool.
So it has that aspect. It very much feels like Mythic Mischief, but I like Mythic Mischief. So I'm intrigued by this one. This one just felt...
Cute,
it's adorable. I wanted to back this. I actually hit back, and I did that stuff, but then I had self-control, and I lowered my back. This is how I only backed 7. Only is a relative term. People out there are like, only 7? Okay, we're not backing 7 games, so it depends on who you are. I wanted to back even less than 7. It would have been 8 with this. This would have been number 8, by the way. This is definitely the closest, because I actually hit back and then canceled my back, because self-control meter.
But it has laser eyes.
Laser eye peaks. Hey, if you want to tell me to get it, I'm not going to stop you. Yeah. Anyways, this is Super Truffle Pigs. Looked adorable. Still interested in this one, but self-control.
Got it.
Yeah. Then, moving on, we have Tanares RPG 5e. This is Tanares RPG, which is basically an RPG game, but before you get scared off, it also comes with a miniature pledge for board game stuff for Tanares Adventures. So more board games and miniatures for your Tanares Adventures game.
No.
Of course I backed this one.
Really?
I love Tanares Adventures. Do you know what Tanares Adventures is?
No.
Tanares Adventures is going to be Arena of the Contest. You know what Arena of the Contest is?
Vaguely.
We played it a long time ago. I played it a bunch. I played it with you one time. I think it was one time. Maybe it was twice. Not that this would make you think of that, but you should have waited till you saw this, right? Because this would make me back this game. What about the Giant Dragon? Let's see if we can find the Giant Dragon. Where's the Giant Gold Dragon?
I remember the Giant Dragon, but I never knew what game it came from.
This is the dragon behind me on the shelf? That one
over there.
That one over there. That's Tanares Adventures. This has a full dragon collection, tons of stuff for the game. I can't find the dragon right now.
Stop scrolling.
I may have scrolled past it.
It's okay.
I don't know.
You can stop scrolling.
Sorry. Ooh, look at these things. Look at this. Look at this stuff.
You're still scrolling.
Look at the dice. Look at the dice. Dice.
No. Those are pretty.
Pretty dice.
Very nice.
I don't even know if I got those or not.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
Thematic dice set end game. Oh, look at these. Look at
You're
these dice.
supposed to get the pretty dice.
Look at these dice.
You're always supposed to
They
get
look
the pretty
adorable.
dice. We said after last time you bought Cthulhu that you were always going to buy the pretty dice.
Yeah, but this is the RPG. This is a weird balance. So Tanares RPG.
Pretty dice.
Yes.
Pretty dice.
Yes. Tanares RPG.
Dice.
Is going to be both an RPG and a board game.
Dice.
Dice. Yeah, so this is one that I did back this one. I should not have backed this one, to be very clear. This is one of the... Because I have more than enough content coming for Tanares Adventures that I do not need all this extra.
When is it coming?
Too long from now.
Okay, so this one's going to come even longer.
Exactly.
So?
I'm not... I should not have backed this.
Something for you to look forward to.
Well, I do look forward to it. That's true. That's true. But this one falls in the category of, you know how rational I was about Black Rose Rebirth? Like, I'm not going to go through all the content, so why would I back it? Blah, blah, blah.
Dragons.
Yeah.
And dice.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Look at this eyeball dude. Giant eyeball dude. I got a pre-painted one. The kids are going to love it. Dice. Okay, I think the takeaway here is dice. Moving on. We have a few left. The Artemis Odyssey.
I don't even know how many I got right so far. So.
I think you got like 3 or 4 wrong. You've been having a pretty decent run, but I haven't been tracking it. We didn't bring the tray this week. The Artemis Odyssey going to be from Bruno Fedudi and Sergei Leggett, and this is a game that we...
Really?
This is a game, yes. This is a game. Do you recognize it yet?
Yes.
Yes.
It
Well, not
similar.
these, because we didn't have these. We had prototype stuff.
It looks very similar.
We had the galaxies.
Oh, yes.
We had the cards.
Yes.
And we placed them down. We didn't have the fun little game trays. The game trays are fun. But yeah, lots of game tray stuff.
It's very pretty.
Yeah. Did I back it?
No.
Correct. So again, like Solosphere, this falls into a tough space. The Solosphere, yeah, Solosphere. Like Solosphere, this is a tough one where there are many aspects of the game that I enjoyed, but enough small aspects of it that puts it from a game that I really, really want to play to a game that I'm more than happy to play, but then the balance is, do I want to get it? Now, looking at the Kickstarter page always made it harder because we had all these fun things like upgraded tokens, game tray miniatures, all this stuff. This is a reprint of a game called Ad Astra, the older game that they brought back under a new theme, but slightly changed up rules, deluxe fight components, all that, especially if you got the deluxe fight version of the game. Overall, really interested in this game, but did not pull the trigger on it in the effort of that whole self-control thing that reins its head when and where I can. Moving on, we go to The Spill. The Spill. This is a game that you actually just have seen recently.
I did just see it.
Yes, where did you see this one?
I feel like we were talking about it. We saw it at Origins.
Correct. This is going to be from the same company that we just got the Night Cage from.
Yes.
Which you have to play.
Yes.
But that's not here, they're there.
Correct. This is cooperative.
This is a cooperative game where you're trying to control the flow of oil or whatever it is in the game. Yes. Reverse tower defense.
Yes.
So I was interested in this bill. I definitely was interested in this bill. Again, if it's on the list, it wouldn't otherwise wouldn't have made it here. Because it looked fun. It looked like a fun little puzzle of being a cooperative game where you restrain the spill, the oil. And this may end up being like the Night Cage, of becoming another game that I regret passing on Kickstarter, only to hear people talking about it later and being like, maybe I should get it again. But the problem I have with it is just, it's no real problem. It's a cooperative game that I didn't see enough of a reason or way that it stood out from other games. Like if you've played games like Pandemic, if you've played games like Flashpoint, if you've played that basic mechanic of bad thing happen, good guys try to control, various good guy abilities, it seemed to very much fit into that mold. Not a bad thing. I love Pandemic. I love Flashpoint. but I wasn't confident that this build would be something that was, you know, necessarily better or a version to pay attention to, past just being a good game. And again, in the effort of self-control and the effort of not backing too many things, I passed in this one. Will I pick it up down the road? If people are still talking about it, I probably will. I'm intrigued by this one. I like the theme. The theme's unique. And again, like I said already, I already like Pandemic. I already like Flashpoint. I like that style of game. Just a question of, at the end of the day, whether this one is interesting enough to dive back into once it's done with the Kickstarter hype and excitement. Next up, we have Unsurmountable. Unsurmountable from Jason Tagmeyer. This is going to be a button-shy game, a wallet game. Like I have a Sprawlopolis and all that. Unsurmountable is a game about climbing mountains. It's a solo game, specifically solo, in which you're basically laying out these cards to build a path to the top of the mountain. And all the cards either have a path or have an ability, or technically they have both, but whether you use it for the path or the ability is a different question.
Making base camp?
Making a base camp. Yeah, that's going to be Unsurmountable.
A lot of books about mountains.
Lots of books about mountains, yeah.
Yeah.
I did back this one.
Yeah. I like these pocket. You like this style game a lot.
I do. I do like these pocket style games a lot. In fact, I would guess that Unsurmountable may not even stay in my collection. What?
Takes up so little space.
That's the thing. They're cheap. They take up so little space. I like some of these games I'm more tolerant of. Ugly Griffin Inn is a good example in the solo line of a game that it's good. It's not great, but I haven't gotten rid of it because sometimes I pull it out just for the sake of variety. Unsurmountable may find its way into that same spot in my collection. I don't yet know, but either way, it was an easy enough back. Moving on, we have Wild Serengeti. Looks
so pretty.
It does look so pretty.
I'm assuming you backed it.
And if I didn't?
Then I would be wrong.
That's true. That is how it works. That is how it works. I did back it.
Aha!
Wild Serengeti, I was not planning on backing this one. I was planning on passing it. Look at this. Look at this over here. Look at this. What?
You're so funny.
Exactly. This was one of those ones where I was potentially planning on passing on it and then hoping you would make me back into this video.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Well, then I got to that part. That was the line for me. When I realized I was at the point where I was hoping you would make me back it, and I'd be sad if you didn't, at that point, I should just back it. I should just get my hands in it.
That is a very good measure.
Yeah, it's all about creating these like sequences of scoring. So it's going to feel a bit like, and it's very different, but it's going to feel a bit like some of those Cascadia, Calico kind of games we'll be playing.
That's fine.
In the sense that you have these different tiles, but it's more of a collective board. So that's where one of the differences. You have a collective board, you have various goals you're going for. As you say, hey, line up 3 of these in a row, or have an elephant and a zebra next to this. So lots of goal scoring around a collective engine that gives you points, has lots of meeples for various animals, and overall, like you said, looks pretty.
I can also stack all the elephants.
And you can stack all the elephants. Yes, this in fact, by the way, fun fact for those who don't know, this is actually 2 games in 1. This is going to be Wild Serengeti as well as Animal Upon Animal, just the secret deluxe edition of that game.
Really?
No, it's not really. But do you know what Animal Upon Animal
is?
Yes, I do. No, it's not. I mean, you could obviously do that. It's not incredibly customized to be like that. But yes, and in fact, another fun fact, it's also being sold as an expansion pack to Meeple Circus. Good thing you didn't say really. Yes. But you could do all these things. You could make it what you want. You know, you can be creative. Have fun with it. Enjoy yourself. That's going to be all the games that we looked at now, which means we up to the part where if I were picking 3 games to back.
Oh.
Yes.
No.
We go through this one. Yes.
No.
If I were picking 3 games, let's go through it again. We have Agemonia. We did not back those wars.
Wait. I know.
I'm closing all the ones I didn't back. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. The one game that you would always for sure back is Mythic Mischief.
Okay, well, we skipped the 3-game question, but yes, you're correct.
I'm going in a different order.
If I were backing 1 game, it would be Mythic Mischief. Okay, you're correct.
And then if you were backing 3 games, I will include Mythic Mischief.
Okay.
I will include the Tanares thingy-mababi.
Nope.
Okay.
Good question.
I will include...
So Tanares, by the way, again, I really like Tanares. As a game, Tanares is in my top games, but as a needing more content for a game that I don't need more content for, it wouldn't make my top 3.
So Mythic Mischief, Agemonia.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the other titles anymore.
Let's see, we have Eos, we have Flamecraft, we do not have 11, we have Not Green Hell, we have Solar Sphere, not those, not Tanares we had Artemis Odyssey not back, we have the spell I did not back, Unsurmountable, and then we had Wild Serengeti.
Eos.
Nope.
Serengeti.
Yes.
Very nice.
Eventually got there. But you got the Mythic Mischief one. Yeah, so once again, if I were backing 3 of these, it would have been Agemonia, Wild Serengeti, and Mythic Mischief. Now, if I'm backing only one of them, it would absolutely be Mythic Mischief. Those are the games I would be backing, although I backed 7 of them. But like I said, I probably shouldn't have backed the Tanares Adventures. Unsurmountable barely counts. It's a $9 pocket game, but I did back it. And then EOS I liked. I don't know if it'll hit the table as much as it should to justify backing it, but I do really enjoy it, so that's a tough one there. And then Flamecraft is one that I liked,
so cute,
but I'm backing it more to play with my family, so I'm not as personally invested in that one. But overall, that's going to be the games we backed this month. Anything you're adding or not so much? Not so much. I'm wondering what they'll be next month. See, it's interesting in these because, well, it depends. I'm curious.
I like more puzzly style games.
Yeah, like what?
I don't know. You added a whole bunch.
Polyominoes? Oh yeah, there was that month we
added
like 3
month
games.
I was like, I added 3 because they were all Polyominoes.
The Wild Serengeti was the main one that I was wondering if you would add as we went through it, and I was like,
I would have probably added this one if you hadn't.
But yeah.
Because first of all, the pieces would be nice for the kids to play with also.
Yeah, like I said, Meeple Circus. That's what I'm talking about. But anyways, that is going to be that. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
I'm Rena.
And have a good one.